Hi. Yesterday we have completed how do you manage DOM with the ref. Managing DOM with the what? Ref. Today, that is 3rd of July 2024, time is this. We would be understanding what do you mean by effects and how do you synchronize with them. Use effect. So I ask a question. Let me first create day 107. Let's create the terminal. CD desktop stack CD day 107 VM use 18. Tell me the command for creating new React project.
Create with @letter.
npm create @latest. So here we can say use effect or effects. It is not the CSS effects, it is something different. Effects npm install. Okay, project have been created. Now, what do you mean by effects? So some components need to synchronize with the external systems. Some components need to synchronize with external system. For example, you might want to control non-React component based on the React state. Set up a server connection or send on the analytics log when component appears on the screen. Effects let you run some code after rendering so that you can synchronize your component with some system outside of the React. So one thing for sure, effect, you are doing something outside of the React. You are doing something what? Outside of the React, and that you want to handle from the React. At that time you need a effect. You need to handle something which is outside of the React, and you want to handle that thing. See here, for example, you might want to control a non-React component based on the React state. Non-React component based on the React state. Set up a server connection or send the analytics log when component appears on the screen. So these are the non-React things. These three things. Set up a server connection, send the analytics log when component renders on the screen. So effect let you run some code after rendering. Effects let you run some code after rendering so that you can synchronize your component with some system outside of the React. What are the effects and how they different from the events? Events can be handled in React, but effects is not a part of the React. So before getting to effects, you need to be familiar with the two types of the logic inside React components, a rendering code and the event handlers. So we have seen under the adding interactivity and rendering code with this part describing the UI, this part. So these two parts we have seen. The rendering code lives at the top level of your component. This is where you take the props and state, transforms them, and returns the JSX you want to see on the screen. This is where you take the props and the state, transform them, and return the JSX, the normal rendering code. A rendering code must be pure. We have discussed this part in detail in a React component. What do you mean by pure? React component should, if you render it million times, it should produce the same output. Like a math lambda, it should only calculate the result but not do anything else. At the time of React component, we have seen this part in detail. You may revise the video. If you wanna revise the video, you can see my YouTube channel. This one is the YouTube channel, so where I keep uploading all the videos. So a couple of videos I didn't upload yet, but you will see over here soon. Okay, so we created the component project and this thing. So rendering code and the event handlers, adding the interactivity, are the nested functions inside your components that do the things rather than calculate them. An event handler might update the input field, submit the HTTP post request to buy a product, or negative the user or navigate the user to another screen. Event handlers contain the side effects. They change the program state caused by the specific user action. For example, button click or typing. An event handler might update the input field, submit the HTTP post request to buy a product, or navigate the user to another screen. Event handler contain the side effects, that is, they can change the program state. Remember that rendering will never change the program state. Event handlers can change the program state caused by the specific user action. Right? Sometimes this is not enough. Consider a chat room component that must connect to the chat server whenever it is visible on the screen. Connecting to the server is not a pure calculation. So it can't happen during the rendering. However, there is no single particular event like click that causes the chat room to be displayed. Effect let you specify the side effect that are caused by the rendering itself rather than the particular event. Now what they are saying, what they are meaning, by now you should be understanding the document. Whatever they want to say exactly, by now you should have that understanding, right? Remove this. So technically, when you say React component is pure, it will accept the props, say ABC, it will render the props, it will accept the props, it will render the prop. But this from here, you can't change any variable. That's what the purity means. If you try to change a is equals to 90, this is bad. This is impure component. So this thing can be done in an event handler by means of the state. On click, you can do this thing. That is okay. But what if I want to do here without, I don't have any event handler and I want to do this thing over here? At that time, effects let you specify the side effect that are caused by the rendering itself rather than the particular event. There is no button click, nothing over here. But still, I want to update this thing at the time of rendering. This is what the rendering is over here. Sending a message in the chat is an event because it is directly caused by clicking the specific button. However, setting up the server connection is an effect. So from here, I need to connect to the server. I need to connect to the server, or I need to enter in a chat room, right? Or I want to connect to Facebook. Connect to Facebook. All these things you cannot write directly over here. And that's why you need the effect. So before doing that thing, effects run at the end of the commit. Effect runs at the end of the commit after the screen updates. So this is a good time to synchronize the React component with the external system. So remember that whatever you are doing, so here we can say these are the effects. These are the side effects, we can say. Side effects. So side effects can change the program state if there is something called as const st set st is equals to use state. So on the server connection, I want to update the name from the Facebook. I'm going to get my username or friend list. I want to display my friend list over here. That is the side effect that cannot change the state. And if you want to change the state, you need what you can say something called as use effect. We'll see that. You might not need an effect. First thing, first make sure that whatever code you are writing, that is the side effect. Make sure that most of the cases you might not need the it might not a side effect. You need to make very sure that it's a side effect, that is the outside of the React. So how to write the effect? Declare the effect. By default, your effect will run after the commit, means after rendering. After rendering, there is one more step. At that time, the effect runs. Specify the effect dependencies, add the cleanup if needed. Remember that 3 steps we are going to see. Even if I want to print console.log, even if I want to print the console.log over here, you cannot write console.log. This would be considered as side effect. This is side effect. So these things needs to be written. So from the React, you need to import one more thing, use effect. So here I can say use effect. Inside that, you need to pass a arrow function. And inside that, you need to write these 2 things. You can have multiple use effect functions. You can have these multiple functions, no problem, right? So if you are doing server connection, you can write this side effect for the server connection. Enter the chat room, you can use another use effect. Connect to the Facebook, you can use another side effect, use effect, no problem. Now this code is doing something which is not in the, this code is doing something which is not in the boundary of the React. In the boundary of the React. So this might not be in the boundary of the React. So this part might not be, for sure it is not in the boundary of the React. This one. And that's why you have, it is generating some effect. Effect means what? It is impure function. It is changing something which is outside of the component. Components must be pure. Whatever the data they have given, they should print that data only, and that's it. That's what the React component is. But this React component is changing some variable. It is making a network call or whatever. And that's why this is breaking the rule of the React component, purity of the React component. And that's why you need a use effect over here. Okay, use what? Effect. Now let's have a more concrete example. Function my video player, and from here we are going to return HTML video tag, video HTML5 video tag, and in the props we can have is playing and src, and to this src we can assign that src means source. Okay, so this is my video player. Now see, video tag is a out of the React scope, because this is a HTML5 part video tag. We can show the videos over here, and that is out of the React. React cannot handle this thing. And here if you wanna show my video player, this is what? My video player. And here there would be the state is playing, set is playing. So in the beginning it is false. In the beginning it is what? False. And we can pass the prop. There are two props over here. Is playing is equals to the state is playing, and the src, any video link we can have, just copy this link and I can paste it here. So here we can say npm run dev localhost 5173 localhost 73 localhost. This is the side effect have been printed. This is the app. Any console, there is no error, there are no errors. If you see, this is the body, this is the div, inside div this much is the video tag. Now video tag, I think video tag will not play video in play YouTube video. In HTML5 HTML YouTube video. So we can't use the video tag. We need to use something called as iframe. Okay, HTML video. Let's have this video. Let's copy this. Okay, let's paste it in our app. To play the YouTube videos, you need to do something else. Yeah, see here, is playing, presently false. Now see, video tag is an external entity. Let's have one button in our case first. Div input type button, and here we can say play, and on click is equals to a function, and let's change set is playing, not is playing, whatever value of there. Okay, so we didn't change anything yet. If you see now this is the external code that we need to do. Now if you see, this won't work straight away like this. Yeah, so here is the video player we have. In this case, here is the video player we have. So we need to give a ref over here is equals to const vd is equals to use ref over here. Use what? Ref over here, and here we can pass vd. In the beginning it would be null, but see this on the click of the is playing. So from here you are going to click, set is playing is going to be changed. You have passed this as a prop. So this video tag is having, see, ref is there. Here you need a use effect because you need to change the video tag properties. What? vd dot current, first we will see if it is playing. If is playing, then pause, I think. If it is playing, then play. Else vd dot playing pause. Right, see now what happens here. Play, pause, play, pause. So we can change this title also. Let's change the title. If is playing, here we can say if is playing, it should be pause, otherwise play. Now play, can you see? Pause, play, pause, play, pause, play, pause. Right? Use effect. You cannot do this thing. You cannot write this thing directly over here because fundamental of the component says that component should be pure. Data it should accept, and Are you getting that?
Yes, sir.
So you cannot write this as the principle of the component. So you need to write this code over here. Yeah. So this is the simple example of what you can say use effect. Clear? So we will see this much today. We will see this much today. There are more things about the use effect. But what is the use effect is this. React, effect, and use effect. There are more things about the effect. But revise these many things first and then we will move ahead with the next things. Okay?
Yes, sir.
We are approaching towards the end of React. Start thinking about the project, billing counter management. Start thinking about the project, billing counter management. You need to use the tailwind and other things. So effect will take little time and we will see. And one more important functionality is remaining, that is forms, that we will see end of the React. Okay, let's call it for a day. We'll meet tomorrow. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you.